Phoenix contract is live on Ethereum, and today we're gonna attempt to burn some Zen to stake some Phoenix using the Phoenix protocol on ETH. As you already know, we already did that on Polygon. Now we are going to do it on ETH, and then after that we are going to compare the Hex contract to the Phoenix contract to show you some similarities. This Phoenix contract right here, it could make you a load of money. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Let's get right onto this one. So as you all know, you can see right here that the Phoenix contract on Ethereum is pretty much live. Shout out to Joe Blau. You can see the equity supply is going up, the reward supply is going up. This is absolutely phenomenal. Joe Blau, hey, Joe Blau, hats off to you, bro. He's been deving. He has been deving. The Zen ecosystem is just amazing, bro. Come on. Now, you're going to want to come over here to Burns. I'm assuming you already got some Zen on ETH because you already know how to mint, you know how to claim, all of that stuff. You know how to approve your Zen. Once you approve your Zen, as you can see, I already approved some Zen here. I've got 50 million Zen as a spending allowance. So you just got to put it here. You know how on my wallet right now, I got about 250 million Zen on ETH that I have recently claimed. This one here, so you just gotta put whatever amount you want to approve to get into the Phoenix contract up here, and then you click approve, and then you're good. Once you confirm it on your MetaMask, you're solid. You then want to come back to Burns up here, and then you proceed to burn your Zen to get your Phoenix token. Now you have an option to either burn everything or burn some, whatever amount you want to burn. I'm just going to burn 50 million every couple of days. I'm going to play this like how I played my Phoenix on Matic gameplay, where I did a lot of 7/7 stakes. I did a lot of stakes that take longer, and then I did some midterm ladder stakes. You know, you can also do some short-term stakes just to see the profitability. Now, you don't have to put much in there, but just to give you an experience, an example of how much you are going to be earning in terms of rewards while you're staking your Phoenix. So click max, and then you can burn your Zen. So I'm about to burn, this is just an example. So 50 million Zen tokens. The GUI functions are gone down, thank goodness. Gas fees are 40, and yeah, man, it's a little bit better than the last few days when everything was pepe. So $7 I'm about to pay for this. Just confirm the burn in terms of gas fees, which is, hey man, this is absolutely good. So once the burns are confirmed, then you can go on and see where this takes you. So it says your Zen has been burnt and converted to Phoenix. I think now we're gonna have to go over here to either the dashboard or I think stakes. So where it says active stakes, I think that's where you're gonna wanna have a look. Right now we have no active stakes. I guess we're gonna have to go to start stake. So we've already converted our 50 million Zen on ETH, which are now worth only 5,000 Phoenix tokens. So this is just an example, pretty much. So 5,000 Phoenix tokens. I'm going to just click max. How many days do I want to stake this? So right now we are in May of 2023, the 14th to be approximate. You can either do a 7,700 days. You know, these are your 7/7 takes, which is maximum term. Longer pays better, bigger pays better, pretty much. This, look at it in through hex lenses, so you would know exactly what I mean. The longer you stake, the more rewards you would get. But because this is just an example, we're gonna put this right smack in the middle of the bull market of 2025. Which means it's going to be sometimes in either April or May of 2025 for these stakes to come out. So 365 days from today is May 2024. So multiply that by 2, that's 730 days, which is just enough to do that. And then, yeah, that's the 13th of May of 2025. This should come out. You can see your size bonuses, time bonuses, and total shares. I would have 14,925 T shares, and the share rate is 1. So these are my shares, and yeah, man, you will receive 14,925 shares, which is absolutely dope. Now these shares, I think they drop just like Hex. Their rates be dropping because it gets more and more expensive, so which means like if it takes you, for example, X amount of Phoenix to use as T-shares, that amount would go down and down as adoption grows, as more and more people are using the Phoenix protocol to burn Zen. So all I gotta do now is just click start staking, and then yeah, we are good from there. It's only $10 right now to do that, which is absolutely cheap on ETH. Click approved, and then there you have it. We are now live staking Phoenix. I think you gotta go back to either the dashboard or your active stakes or something to that nature. It says success, you have been initiated, happy earnings. So come up here and click active stakes, and my penalty is 100% right now. Shares 15,412. I don't know why this increase. It says 14,000 something, but hey, who knows. But yeah, that's the principle. This is your shares. That's how much I'm going to be getting in 2 years, which is absolutely dope, man, to get this amount of staking. And the Phoenix protocol itself is a hidden gem. Yo, think Hex on ETH early stages. Wouldn't you like to get in if you see what I see in this? Pretty much this is their diagram penalty. We went over this when Phoenix gave us their light paper, pretty much. So it's 10,000 to 1. Every 10,000 Zen gives you 1 Phoenix. But this is the important part right here: adoption rewards pool. How does this work? You can base your calculations and stakings based on how much you give them. Now if you burn your Zen, right, you get 2 Phoenixes. So think Hex on ETH and Hex on Pulse. You're gonna get your Phoenix minted and then straight into the staker wallet. But at the same time, the same amount, which is what I just did, is gonna be a Phoenix copy of it. This would go to the adoption reward pool, which is active. So every 13 weeks, it will go to this flush reward pool, equity pool, right? And then, you know, it's gonna get, you know, rinse and repeat so they can pay out others. So for every 5,000 Phoenix you gave them, like what I just did, it's actually 10,000 that is being minted. The other 5,000 is gonna go to the reward pool, and your 5,000 will be sitting in your wallet and growing and paying you. So whatever's in the reward pool is paying that. So you gotta understand the mechanics behind Phoenix. They're absolutely dope, and they have a flash function, which is the other contract that has a flash function. It is none other than Hex. If you remember when Hex launched, they did have this kind of flash function, which does nothing but help the protocol just be more sustainable and whatnot. You have to study Hex as well, the mechanics and everything behind it. So it's very, very simple. Somebody asked me yesterday, what is a CD contract, certificate of deposit and whatnot. It's basically just like a bank, bro. But the way Richard Hart did it is dope. You give him your Ethereum. He gives you some Hex tokens that may or may not be valuable, but then he uses the same Ethereum that you gave him to buy back that Hex that is circulating. This is the reason why the Hex price just kept going up and up and up. It's a genius mechanic that Richard Hart has invented. I don't know whether he came up with it, but whoever came up with it, it was dope. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that later on. Right now, let's talk the price of Phoenix, because it is up 30%. Phoenix on ETH, I think it was under a penny, and it shot up to like 2.2 cents right now. By the time you see this, it could be up, could be down. It's crypto, but it is currently up 30%, and you can see the liquidity 33K. I just went over to Uniswap and I tried to trade this, and they said, hey, insufficient liquidity. Right now the liquidity is low, so you can't really buy it at these prices. But I can see some buys that are going through. Like this guy just bought like 11 million. He burned 11 million Zen or something to that nature, and he bought some Phoenix. He swapped Zen for Phoenix, and this guy sold just 100,000 Phoenix. These are the #1 day traders, you know, people who just, whatever contract launches live, they take advantage of the volatility so they can day trade it and make some money out of it. So there are a few buys that are going through, lots of buys now coming up. You know, 25,000 Phoenix, 37,000, 100,000. There's a lot of buys, and then there's some sales as well. People who are trying to be profitable. That's why you see these plus and minus game. So if you look at Matic Phoenix, Phoenix, they also hanging up there. It's still at 3 zeros and a 2. When it launched, I think it was lower than this, but at some point it started to grow. And if you look at Zen dashboard, Phoenix on ETH has already burnt 127 billion. Look at this, 128 right now as we are clicking it. 128 billion. More and more Phoenix are being burnt, man, and this is absolutely dope, because you know that's the power of Zen. Is proof of burn, proof of responsibility, proof of participation, which is dope. DBZen, you can see, already burned 3 trillion. XenFTs 1.5 trillion, and now you got Phoenix in addition to that has burnt 128 billion, and it's not even 24 hours yet. That is the dopeness of this. As these protocols are coming in, Zendoge is coming as well. As they are coming in, they're going to be burning more and more Zen, and this is the reason why the supply is being suppressed. Look at it, the liquid supply is still around 10.2 trillion, and the total supply 11.8 trillion. If none of these protocols existed, this is Zen. If none of these protocols existed, you would have seen a Zen liquid supply on ETH that surpasses 20 trillion or something to that nature. But just the fact that these protocols are here, DBZen paying people passive income rewards on ETH, you know, Phoenix doing his thing, football numbers with what Hex is doing, same thing, right? You got XENKnights, 80 billion already burnt, right? And there are other smaller protocols that are doing it. They're coming into the game. If none of these existed, the supply would have been huge, bro. That is the power of just experimenting with things like this, bro. And I've seen it over and over and over. Yesterday, I was speaking to people in the comment section. Shout out to all of them. And they were saying, yo, Hex on ETH is going to dump, and people are going to slowly forget about it, and they're going to be focusing on Hex on Pulse. But don't count Hex on ETH out, because this is the mistake that a lot of people made back in 2019 and 2020 and whatnot. Don't forget about these protocols. I'm going to give you the Cardano example, right? When I was getting into Cardano 2018, 2019 and that, people were making videos calling Charles Hoskinson a scammer. He would never roll out smart contracts. This is just a card that will never ever come, and all this other crap they were saying about Charles, but we believed in him. Most of them were saying, yo, Cardano topped at $1.33 in 2017, and then in 2019 and that it dropped all the way down to under 4 cents. So people were laughing at it. They said, this thing ain't never coming back. It ain't going nowhere. This ain't no Ethereum killer and whatnot. But those who believed, they kept on buying it and just believing in Charles Hoskinson. A lot of people made videos calling Charles Hoskinson a scammer, and he's this and he's that. I listened to one live stream of that man, and I decided to buy enough ADA. And this is what led me to take a small, tiny little portfolio of mine from less than $5,000 to above 100K, because people have seen my wallets on this channel. They seen me how I move, and I show people result. It doesn't get more transparent than this. How I was able to do that was just by dollar cost averaging. That's it. DCA. I was going to my small jobs which didn't pay me jack at the time, but I didn't cry about, well, I can't afford it, but I was looking at ways of how can I afford to DCA into this? How can I, allocate more capital into crypto? And this is just staying diversified, and also, paying attention to the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatnot at their lowest, at their cheapest. But I'm saying the next bull cycle, instead of trying to buy Ethereum at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, watching it go only to 10,000, which is like, I don't know, 3-4x or whatnot, you can bet on something like Hex. You can look into something like Hex where it already 10,000x. People are missing this point. It already 10,000x. It could easily do that again, and even if it does half of that, it will put you at around, I think, $3 Hex or something to that nature. At these levels, you are looking at amazing prices and huge opportunity for you to scoop up Hex on ETH. Why do I always say Hex on ETH? Hex on Pulse would do great, but I think Hex on ETH would do even greater because of the early adoption, because of the first mover advantage. It already has done its football numbers and is sitting on top of the #1 chain right now, the chain that everyone just loves to hate, because I don't like it either. Ethereum high gas fees is sickening, to be honest. But Ethereum has one thing that Cardano doesn't have it, Pulse chain doesn't have it, Crypto.com's blockchain, Binance chain, they don't have none of that. It is called the first mover advantage, which means the adoption rate. Anybody who gets into crypto, and I think Jack Levin understood this. This is why he launched Zen on ETH first. First mover advantage. Ethereum has all the chains. The other day, I showed you a tweet of CZ of Binance said, yo, we need more DEXs because Uniswap has all the liquidity. PancakeSwap has all the users. We need more competing DEXs. And now we got PulseX. Now, the reason why these things are happening because of Ethereum's power. It is huge, but it is still the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap. And if you look at TVL wise, all the money, all the liquidity goes to Uniswap and the Ethereum chain itself. People still like ETH. People are minting NFTs on it. If you remember 2021, right, you had people minting NFTs, metaverse, all that. The Ethereum chain was clogged. GUIs were high, gas fees were high, but people didn't care. They still used Ethereum. Binance Smart Chain started to pop later on during the bull market, but even that didn't stop people from using Ethereum because it was first mover advantage. Every artist, every people that was minting NFTs, they were doing it on the Ethereum chain. Now, some people went over to Solana, and Solana made a little name for itself because of NFTs. People, when they realized that NFTs were very expensive on ETH, a small portion of them moved over to the Solana chain. Solana took advantage of that market and they did football numbers. But overall, Ethereum always captures, a huge chunk of new retail coming into crypto. Not only that, institutional investors, you've seen them come into crypto, but it's always through Ethereum. And this is the power of ETH. That's why I said if they discover Hex on ETH, they're going to start from there first before they realize, oh, this guy got his own chain. It's Pulse chain. Okay, let me go have a look. PulseX, he's got a DEX too. And then they go trickle down there. So while this thing was in the red yesterday under 2 cents, I was telling people, pay attention to Hex on ETH. And now, look, it's back up again. Because people are realizing that you're gonna need some Hex on ETH in the future, bro. Because it's the first mover. It's the Genesis coin, that the first coin ever that Richard Hart, the great Richard, has created pretty much. So pay attention to Hex on ETH because it is going to do football numbers. And it's still on top of this great blockchain that is called Ethereum, right? Now, high gas fees, I think Vitalik is on it. Maybe, hopefully by 2025, he would come up with the Shanghai upgrade that is supposed to at least lower the gas fees. Vitalik, I watched an interview of him and he said, yo, I only made one mistake when I launched Ethereum back in 2014 or whatnot. And they asked him, what is that mistake? He said, if I changed a few lines of code, I would have increased the blocks and I would have made Ethereum super cheap in fees. But he decided to go with 14 transactions per second when he could have changed just a few lines of code before he deployed the contract to increase the transaction sizes so Ethereum could scale. But this is the #1 mistake that is costing Vitalik this to this day. It just shows you that, these geniuses, these people that create these protocols, they also make mistakes because they're human. With that being said, just let me know about Fenix protocol. Are you staking on ETH or do you think the gas fees are high? Right now it's the weekend, so it's a little bit lower. It might be a good entry point to burn some of that Zen. As you can see, it is clearly working. Like up the video, share it, subscribe for some crypto content. I have been Mr. Nakamoto Crypto, and I'm out.